Hey guys, welcome to the Queen of Down Syndrome's channel. In today's video, I want to walk you through this printable, and that is called Empathy Explorers. Now, empathy is something that a lot of children find difficult to learn and to master. Why? Because we're all born, it's about the me phase. And now all of a sudden, you're having children say, hey, let me think of you, let me help you. And you know what? That can be quite challenging. So I've created this little booklet. It has been used both one-on-one and in a small group setting. And I'll kind of walk you through how I would use it, both to help the Queen of Down Syndrome and as well as the students in my class. So the first page is exploring empathy and mapping my feelings. Now, how can I expect others to have empathy if the child doesn't yet know their own feelings? So we would walk them through what is empathy, which is a brief definition, and 3 ways to show kindness to someone who is happy. 3 ways someone who had a good day. So this is like keeping it positive and just really helping the child understand things that they're comfortable with, because we always believe comfortable and happy come first. And last, how can you practice self-empathy when you're feeling happy? Now notice everything is in a little box, and this kind of helps the child to put down their thoughts without getting too overwhelmed, and just like quick, short, to the point. Now, one little hack, it says here, especially if you're dealing with like a neurodivergent group, 3 ways to show some kindness to someone who's happy. Just cut it to 1. You don't need to do all 3, especially in the beginning. If you go to our channel over at Teachers Pay Teachers, you'll know I have a bunch of these mini booklets there. And start with 1, and you'll see by the end of the year, they may be doing 2 or 3. And so, like I said, the first page is all about the self and about being happy, because that's the easiest. The next page of exploring empathy is mapping out feelings. 2 ways you can show empathy to someone who's having a bad day. Now this one we kind of turn a little bit, and we ask the child to go deep into themselves as well as to start to understand someone else. How is someone else feeling? What are they going through? 2 ways you can help a friend feel heard when you don't want to. Let's say you're both having a bad day, but you know what? Guess what? That friend's feelings are also valid. So how can you kind of, I guess, validate yourself and hear the other person, even if you don't want to? 3 ways you can care for a friend who's sad. This one, it's really cute, especially when you're with younger children. Oh, so-and-so's ice is melted on the floor. How can you make the friend, how can you care for a friend who's sad? And you know what? Especially with older kids, you may not even have an answer. So this one leads to a lot of interesting discussions. I love this box. Next is 3 ways you could support a friend. Notice how I didn't say happy or sad. And if you're in a large group, this can go so many ways. Fantastic conversation starter. And last, how can you be a supportive peer to someone who is not your friend? Let's face it, not everyone's friends with everybody else. But my philosophy in the classroom and with every child I work with is very simple. I don't have to be your friend, but I will try my best to be nice to you. And this one is really important, and because we're all humans and we all deserve kindness and respect to some extent. Once the children get through the first 2 pages, then we kind of delve into a more, let's just look at this as notes. Then we kind of delve into more like meaningful, look, you have a whole page to write. So let's read what it says. Empathy adventures. Write a story where you embark on a mission to spread empathy in your community. What obstacles do you face, and how can you overcome them with kindness? So really have the children think about their lives, think about a problem they saw, think about something that maybe made them feel uncomfortable, and let them take this opportunity to share it on a page. And my favorite part is sharing this out loud, because the different perspectives, we can actually turn this page into a workshop. It is fantastic. Now, if your child is having trouble getting started, maybe think of something that happened in the classroom, happened in a previous year. Kind of give them a story to get them started. The next page, mapping my growth, treasures of empathy, instructions. After hearing your fellow explorers share their stories, which the stories are over here, Write down the changes you can make to collect more empathy or treasures. So here, instead of doing a trade, we're using, I guess, kindness and empathy as little treasures. And help others along the journey. How will you support and uplift your classmate on this adventure? So this is kind of like interesting because you kind of had this opportunity to hear from yourself, and now we're telling the children now, again, we always start, look inside yourself, and then empathy is really all about others, not so much yourself. So look inside yourself, and then how can that change you to collect from others? And the last page, or pages, which there are two over here, this is kind of like a little gift I gave to you teachers, educators, and tutors, whoever's going to be using this. This is additional teacher prompts. You know, sometimes you're in the classroom and you're working on this empathy package and a student gets stuck and you're like, well, I just helped 2-3 other children, and you know what? No worries. I'll just read to you. For the first page, here's the prompt that I gave. Can you think of a time when you had a hard time navigating someone's feelings? How did you figure out what they needed? Prompt from page 2 might be, what can we do when we make a mistake and accidentally hurt someone's feelings? How can we make it right? Now, since I don't know your classroom, I've actually given you 5 prompts for each page. So this is kind of a little, you know, you don't need to worry if you get stuck, and to help your kids along and to build empathy, because you know what? Empathy is such an important skill and it is so hard to teach. And the last page, this one is optional, which is why it is part of the booklet, but I didn't include it in the booklet. If you're doing empathy as a class, as a movement, what I would like to do is this: collaborative contract. Instructions. Write down ideas for the collaborative contract. Reference your ideas when your teacher calls on you. So this is something where I would set a timer for like 5 minutes and have the children jot down ideas of how as a class we can move to a more empathetic, you know, movement as a group. So it's not me, it's not you, it's all of us together. Then I would kind of take time, listen to the kids as an individual, I would listen to the kids as a class, and together we would then use, depending on your age and grade level, creative writing, turn this into creative writing activity, and have a contract written on the board. Now, something that I always make sure to state is that this is not a must. Once a contract is written, it's not a must. Whether you choose to be kinder or not is up to you. But I, as the teacher, would like to bring the class to have more empathy. And I can tell you from the Queen of Down Syndrome, this was actually obviously made for her, but I'm also a classroom teacher, is that thinking about others is not something that comes firsthand. But when you start to introduce these prompts and just bring it, you know, a discussion, then you elevate the child, and it's not like, oh, why aren't you thinking of someone else? It's fun, it's collaborative, and you've seen her videos over on Instagram, and if you haven't, link below, check them out. But she is so kind, so nice, and cares about others, and it all starts with a little bit of empathy. If you guys want to see a specific skill, whether it's how I teach in the classroom or how I teach the Queen of Down Syndrome, please leave a comment below, because this channel here on YouTube is about answering your questions and making it about you. Can't wait to see you guys in next week's video. Have a good day. Bye.